And we are live. Do not adjust your YouTubes, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. This is a Bills Mafia, Bills Banter takeover. We'll get to the legend and guru here in a few minutes. But first of all, Sammy, hit it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Bills Banter with Stevie Johnson and Michael F. Florio.
Fitzpatrick fires. Oh, caught! Steve Johnson! Touchdown, Buffalo! Why so serious?
The sickest Buffalo Bills podcast.
Allen will run it himself. He pumps. Got some daylight. Hurdles to the end zone.
It's gonna be sick.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful that y'all are here with us, and I'm thankful to be a part of the Bills Banter and Bills Mafia community. I hope everyone's doing well out there. Stay safe if you're traveling. Happy holidays, and pay attention to the weather. Just wanted to start off today by saying, I hear you. I see you. I see your reactions. I see your comments. I see your videos. I see the tweets, the social media posts, and I'm paying attention. I know how frustrating that loss was to the Texans. I know how we've been terrible on the road as of late, and we have a few more road games to go. I know that we have made transactions that people are meh and confused about. We're going to get into all that and so much more today. Just wanted to say the reactions are valid. Y'all have been streaming the Twitter atmosphere with, we are a joke. We are a laughing stock. Fire Bean into the sun. Brandon Bean's lost his mind. Can't wait for our next player to be brought in from the 70s. You know, I see it. Y'all are valid. It's hard to know what's going on in the mind of our GM, our coaching staff, and our offensive coordinator week after week. But here at the Bills Banter podcast from the Sick Podcast, we're going to address a lot of those topics today from the Texans loss, looking forward to the Steelers and going from there. I wanted to say there's one of the biggest comments that I saw over the week involved a comment from our head coach, Sean McDermott. He said in talking about Brandon Bean and Joe Brady that we have total confidence in our guy, Joe. Now, I think that was a big, big swing. They're going to have to come out versus the Steelers this week in bad weather, on potentially terrible field conditions, and ball out. And the thing is, our O-line and our injuries are stacking up. So I think that's going to be number one, priority this week. Number two, our O-line is going to have to play like a beast and a half and step up if we have some people down. We don't know if Dion's going to be there. We don't know if Spencer's fully out. Is Vandermark going to play? Who's filling in positions? Can we keep Josh up? Can we keep him clean and a pocket protection? And then lastly, everyone is concerned about the carousel that is the wide receivers. Thankfully, on this podcast, we have a legendary player who we're going to bring on in just a minute to talk about the carousel that is our wide receiver room. So, in fact, Sammy, hit it. Let's bring Stevie in.
Yo, Bucketz, how did you even take over the show?
Hey, I got the keys to the castle, man. I found them lying on the floor. Dion might have keys to the city, but I found the keys lying around, and I was like, well, if y'all aren't going to be here on time, I'm going to start it without you. How you doing, brother?
We locked out, man. Hey, look, it's good. It's good to be on. It's good to see you able to hold it down for the Banter community. This is what it's about, though. I'm glad that you got to express yourself, and this is what we're here for. What we talking about? What's going on?
Man, what aren't we talking about? I think the last thing we were talking about was the wide receiver carousel that's going in. Who's in? Who's out? Who's playing? Who's hurt? Who's not hurt? Who's new? Who's it's a never-ending cycle there, man. And fans are getting concerned about what are we doing?
Well, I mean, it looked like we're making an effort. At the end of the
We
day,
are.
we're making an effort, and it looked like it's a notch up as far as Cooks and Elijah Moore. If you're comparing, one coming in, one going out. The addition of Micheal Hartman, that was an effort play for a player that has
Absolutely.
a name. You know what I mean? And he has history. So I mean, I see what's being done, and it's not necessarily about the players for me, Drew. It's about whether Coach Brady is going to put the ball in Josh's hand.
Bingo.
To let the playmakers be playmakers, and that's what it comes down to for me, Bucketz.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Stevie. As our guy Muki, who will be on later, always says, it doesn't matter whose name's on the back of the jersey if they're only getting three targets a game.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the toughest part. He is 100% spot on right with that. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could have Justin Jefferson in this offense. Are you going to feed him? They say everyone eats, but everyone's kind of going hungry right now with those targets.
Yeah, and that's why I say it really wouldn't matter what players coming in, because they all got talent, and they all produced in the league, so that's where I see Bean and McDermott them making an effort to bring guys in that's not completely who is this guy,
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's like a glass half full, but at the end of the day, it's about what's going to happen on the field. Are we going to see the command of the ball so that Josh can get the ball out of his hands and not be superhero up and down the field every possession? So that's what I'm looking forward to see against the Pittsburgh Steelers team, who in fact their defense is very aggressive. They're talented, and it's going to be a great test because they're also they break a lot, actually, to when I look back at their games.
Right.
Yeah, they bend and break. So it's big opportunity, but will you put out, so that you can take advantage of that?
Yeah, there's definitely some vulnerabilities that I've been looking at over the last couple of weeks play. They're giving up 24 points a game on average over the last 4 of the last 6. They're allowing 4.4 yards per rush to all backs. And third down has been a very big problem for them. They were 8 of 13 last week, 7 of 14 the week before. So, I mean, they're giving up a 50% third down conversion rate. Not only that, they're 31st in passing against passers. So they're averaging 260 yards a game minimum given up. And if we can just let Josh be Josh and let our playmakers run wild, I think they're going to have one heck of a day. So
yeah, Buckets, great stats that you ran down on, and it's all there. You give the playmakers opportunities, and that defense is one to give it up. And what I see on the offensive side for the Pittsburgh Steelers, like Aaron Rodgers, he gives his playmakers opportunity. So if we come out and we play a soft type of defense and don't blitz Rodgers, I think it's going to be a long day for the Buffalo Bills. But if we come out with that blitz and that pressure, I feel like the Buffalo Bills should run away with this game and get back to their old ways of taking the ball away.
Right. One of the things that I was looking at too, and this is going to be a big factor, I think, that not a lot of people are talking about. We can talk all day about the players on the field and who's in there and who's out there, but it's a time of season where field conditions are really going to play a part. And if you remember, I mean, you played there, so you should remember, Pittsburgh Panthers college football team and the Steelers share a field. It's going to be rainy, wet, cold, snow. Pittsburgh Panthers are playing on Saturday at noon. It's going to be less than a 24-hour turnaround time for the Bills and the Steelers to get out there. I think footwear, traction, and stability are going to be key, especially for our O-line and our wide receivers and running backs. I think it's going to be huge. And monitoring that on defense is going to be huge too. Not, you said putting the pressure out there, but not overcorrecting where you could potentially slip and spin your wheels going back. And our DBs have got to play, man and tight, but don't spin your wheels because it's going to be slippery out there. And that field is notorious for injuries.
Yeah. And let's talk about our offensive line, because it's been pretty, they've been pretty off. They haven't been as disciplined for one of the most disciplined rooms,
right,
on the Buffalo Bills. So with this game coming up, I feel like this is a time for them to make a statement for themselves. They have a great opportunity. You talk about the weather. You got to think the Buffalo Bills, we're from that type of weather. So we don't want to have our guys thinking about, it's going to be this, and this. Yeah, hey, we used to. It's a home game for us, basically. So, I think they go out there and try to live up to what they were in the past, protecting Josh. But at the same time, being able to hold up for 5-6 seconds, that's difficult for any offensive line in the NFL,
Especially going against TJ Watt and his skill set. He is a manimal and a half. And especially if Dion isn't there, he's still in concussion protocol. Spencer Brown, he's dealing with a shoulder. I haven't seen the injury report today. I don't know what's gonna be there. But I don't know who the official in and outs are. And granted, it's Wednesday. We're still a couple days away, so things could change and whatever. But yeah, it's going to be a big deal, man. It's keeping Josh upright, clean, maintaining that, without penalty. Hold without penalty, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, give Josh the time. But he's going to have to make quick decisions. And that's a couple weeks in a row now that we've been talking about this, where he's going to have to make the decisions. And again, it kind of goes back to the whole Brady thing. What scheme? He's had 10 days going to be to prepare for the Steelers. If he doesn't change in 10 days after the comments that were made saying, post game, we're going to have to make changes. We're going to have to, he puts it on himself. Well, show us the fans that you are a man of your word and you will make those changes as necessary, because that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, especially considering the conditions, bringing in a receiver. I'm assuming it always clear up, and it looks like a beautiful day. So that's what I'm assuming it's going to be. But if not, I wonder how it's going to be taken when the passing game wasn't a factor and because of the conditions. And then what do we say then after that? Is Brady going to be the guy who, allow the game to go through the running game, or will he try to force the issue and try to get those passes off because we just brought in, a receiver and, the pressures of that, so I think that's where I'll shift to the defense, which we should go to, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the defense to cause chaos for Aaron Rodgers. We all know, at 41 years old, if you play off, he's going to pick you apart. It's routes versus air, basically. Especially if you don't get no pressure. So that's where I see our defensive line, is going to have to step up, or our linebacker committee. They got to play linebacker by committee against these tight ends and Darnell Washington and I think it's Jawan Johnson. Aaron Rodgers, he throw it to them a lot. Then you would get something downfield with DK or whatnot. But if you play off, he can go anywhere, at least you can neutralize. Yeah.
Yep. He knows it all. He's experienced it all. You're not going to rattle him unless you're getting physical presence in your face. Yeah.
Exactly. Hitting him.
Epinesa, and Groot, and those guys are going to be huge. Getting off the ball, firing off, getting him uncomfortable, getting him scrambling. But yeah, you mentioned Darnell Washington, 6'7", 311 pounds, and is a human bulldozer. This dude does not care. Get out of his way or get run over, and it's going to be a team tackle event. And we know, like we've been talking about on defense, tackling has not been a very, key feature of our defense. So hopefully they've been, keying up some packages to take that away as well and get help. And
Hey, and not to mention a little fact that fun fact, Darnell Washington is a teammate of James Cook.
Yep.
So like, he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder to come out and show he's leading his offense. So that's gonna be something good to see as far as Cook just going over his 1,000 yards for the third time in his career. It's gonna be a good match. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing which Josh come out, whether he's gonna be reserved. Yeah. I don't believe he's gonna be reserved at all anymore. I think he's gonna demand more and command more now. And Cooks, I mean, this is like a second life for him, I would say. After being in New Orleans, where it was Rashid Shaheed emerging, he ended up getting shipped out. But they always had that love in Olave. But never really they had Brandin Cooks a bit early in his career there, but now going to a place like Buffalo where it's been nothing but drama around the receiver room. I mean, this is time for him to wake up and be presentable, So if he come in and do the same thing, trying to fit in and fit the system, he just goes get himself shipped out again.
Exactly. Rentals week after week. Hey, I think I heard a knock on the door. Sammy, we got someone there?
Who we got? Hey, there we go. That's the guru.
Yo, who gave Drew the keys?
Bro, I said the same thing. It was the Banter.
I'm very sneaky, sir.
I appreciate you holding it down for us.
Anytime, my friend.
Hey, yeah, Guru, you just got back from your vacation after beating me in the fantasy league.
Stevie, I'm sorry to say you had to learn the hard way. Fantasy is not over till it's over. You threw that tweet up. Dak was still playing.
That was crazy. You got me fair and square, though. That was a good battle. Right there.
You guys are still very much in this. I know you guys were texting like, oh, it's been a fun year. You guys are one game back of the playoffs with 2 to go.
Yeah, hey, I gotta get it together. I gotta do something. I gotta shake up the room, man. Like Drew did, stepping in and taking over the banter.
Yeah. And
I was listening in the car. You guys were bringing some
Charlie,
great
shout out. He beat me fair and square. I saw that coming a mile away, and I did an early tweet too to him, and he tried to do the reverse jinx of like, no, but it happened. He beat me again. So
I play Charlie this week.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
Stevie, you're in a must-win game.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm on a 7-game losing streak right now. That's crazy. And I'm sitting here trying to fix my lineup, and I'm still taking the L now.
You know what it is? It's Lamar Jackson. Because once he got hurt is when your team started to go down, and then he's returned, but he hasn't been Lamar-like since he's returned.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough. Now I got juiced up threads, and we both at 5 and 7. We both at 5 and 7. So shout out juiced up threads. He gotta make an adjustment because, I mean, it's got me blowing him out right now. But hey, anything goes. Anything goes these any given Sundays, right? Or Thursdays and Mondays.
So I was listening to you guys in the car. You were breaking it down tremendously. But I do have to ask, since the last time all three of us have spoke, has anything happened?
Nah. Nah. We straight. We good. It's just, run of the mill week.
Stevie, I want to ask you real quick. How does a team bounce back from a loss? Because, look, the Bills have lost already this year, but not like this. They haven't gotten, especially that O-line, whooped like that in at least a year. I go back to, the Ravens regular season game last year, but they weren't healthy for that game. They were healthy for this game. So, what do you say it's in the locker room if you're in there right now? How do you get back on track?
Guys, you got to grab the bull by the horns, basically. It's a shot at the staff of coaching too, So guys, we will give you a play, but it's on you to grab the bull by the horns. I can tell you how to grab it, but then when you get in there, you have to grab the bull by the horns. So that's basically what I would tell them boys, and just put it on the players, because it's not difficult, it's not hard. This is really our third loss. Matter of fact, let's get into our Why So Serious of the week. Sammy, hit.
Why so serious?
Yeah, so why so serious? It's a lot going on as if we've lost 7 games. However, we've lost 3. But why do we have to get serious? Because it's looking like we're not going to be the leaders of the division. Therefore, if we make it to the playoffs as a Buffalo Bills fan base, we will be on the road. And right now, our record this season is 2-3 on the road. So it's not looking good, and now we've lost in Atlanta. We've lost there. Where did we lose? In Miami. We lost in Houston. Yeah, and in Houston. Now we're going to Pittsburgh, another road game. I don't know what's going to happen, because we're on the road. Now at home, they're 5-1, but we won't be playing at home in the playoffs unless we clean sweep, which brings me to that topic. Do you got Buckets and Guru? Do you guys see us making a clean sweep and taking that division to play at home in the playoffs, or do you foresee us playing on the road?
Buckets, what do you think?
Man, I think it's going to be a really tough road to hoe. I think, we can do it. We have the talent. We have the pieces. We have the fan base behind. But like we've talked about, will they unlock the offense to let us do what we do? Let them go. It's all you got, all that horsepower, but no room to run.
I will say, I thought last week, if you asked me 1 week ago, I would have said 100% yes. But the road got a lot harder now because we need numerous things to happen to get it. Do I think the Bills could win out? Yes. I know it might sound crazy, but look at their schedule, right? Steelers, I think they win that game. Bengals, it's harder with Joe Burrow back now, but I still think that is a winnable game. Patriots, Browns, Eagles is very tough, and then Jets. But even if they win out and they beat the Patriots, then they need the Patriots to lose another game, probably the Ravens, and then they need them to lose another game. So that is where I'm not sure if they're going to get it. But
in the final games of the final 5 games for the Patriots is against losing teams. So I don't see them losing 3 games to those next 5 teams, I would say.
Stevie, though,
it's looking like they're on the road.
And to your point on the road, right? I get it. Buffalo has a big home field advantage in Buffalo, but what worries me more about their road losses are Atlanta is indoors. Miami, I know it wasn't perfect weather, but like that's an outdoor game that it's not in like cold, windy, whatever. And then Houston indoors. Like I remember last year and for years before, I was in SoFi watching Josh Allen do his thing a few years ago. And it was like, if this guy played in a dome, he'd go for 5,050 every year. But they can't move the ball indoors. Like that to me is concerning.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Buckets, you got anything to say about that?
Yeah, I was going to say, thinking back to the previous years, Josh Allen indoors, he was just unstoppable. He was just shredding, and it was a big topic of concern for all the defenses that went up against him indoors. And now we can't do anything. And again, who is that on? We don't know as fans. So we can project all day. We can assume, but until we get in there, I mean, you've been in those locker rooms, you've been in those meetings. I don't know. Is it Brady holding him back? Is Josh playing scared to protect his MVP status? Is he trying to like prove to everybody that he has to be perfect and that he earned it? Like I don't know what is preventing is it the pieces that we have just don't gel with him, right now? I don't know. Is it a combination of all three? I don't know.
Yeah, like I posted on my account, it's the lack of communication between the playmakers and the quarterback, which puts a lot on the offensive coordinator to feel like he has to control everything. So it's a bit of everybody's fault, if we want to just, point the blame or, give a fault out. It's the receiver for not being able to communicate with your quarterback and say, look, man, just find me, that type of talk. And then it's the coordinators for not being able to allow the quarterback to make those calls or make those adjustments. And again, I bring it back. I don't always want to keep going back to this, but when Josh said, "What are we doing?" it baffled the heck out of me, because you should always know what you're doing, or if you don't like it, maybe it wasn't even geared towards Coach Brady on what are we doing on that, like what kind of play call was it? Maybe it was just, what are the guys doing, my teammates doing? Like, are we like lethargic or something? So I guess I don't know the 100% context, but, from the looks of it, again, I never seen Josh go up to the line and do any huddles. I mean, any audibles. Yeah, it was only just controlled checks, So I think that's where, the evolution of the player has to come in, to take advantage of this. And you can either have that alpha receiver to say, "Hey, get the ball to me," or you can be the Tom Brady fiery guy and say, "Come on, get into the spot," or like Peyton Manning, "I need you in the spot. I don't care what your name is. You in here now, so get to the spot that I need you to be at." You don't got to be an asshole all the way like that, but I think that's where the team will go to the next level, considering what we've been seeing, guys.
Who is that? We've seen Stephon Diggs do it when he was here. He immediately filled that role.
That dude's not on the roster, in my opinion.
Right. No, I know, but like that's who do we have right now that could walk up to, Josh Allen, grab his face mask and shake some sense into him? Or why isn't Josh doing the fiery thing that we've seen?
He
from
should
years
be
before?
the one.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, we've seen it. There's, gifs all over when he's like fired up. He's animated on the sideline. He's getting everyone going. We haven't seen any of that from either side. So again, that's a huge point, is where is that consistency and where's that fire? We hear that they're all for it and they're all brothers, but where is it?
You want my opinion? I think he knows that he is severely hindered in this current, like, it's hard to be that guy when you don't have the tools to be that guy, and I look, Buffalo fans know this quote very well, but Stevie, I don't know if you heard it or not yet. I wanted to read it real quick. D'Amico Ryans went on a podcast this week, and he said it was a scheme we don't see much. Most of the time, we're getting a lot of chips, 7-man protection schemes. They really put a lot on the quarterback's plate. Like, guys are going to have one-on-one matchups, and they are hoping he could escape the pocket. I thought it was the best game we had of guys being in sync. So he's giving his own guys credit there. But from the Bills side of things, it's like, what are we doing that this defensive coach is being like, it's stuff that we don't see in the NFL much?
Man, that's wild, That's wild, considering he said no chips or anything like that. Yeah, it's too much pressure on the offensive line and on your quarterback that doesn't have those intangibles right now for that next level, to bring a playmaker with him, because you understand the pressure of a number one defense on your offensive line. After that first quarter or first half, you be like, "Hey, look, them boys flying. I'm going to get up here. I'm going to check into some type of draw or something to get my tight end over the ball, get it out quick so that we don't even have to worry about my guys jumping off sides, because these guys on the other side of the defense is moving like animals." So that's the evolution of our MVP. And this is the fire. That's good that we racked off 7 dubs, so we in a position to go through the fire, and I got 100% of confidence, just like they saying in the papers about Joe Brady. We got 100% confidence in our guys to be those guys. It's just, are they going to show up? Are they going to show up and apply pressure?
Who's someone who could help us answer that question? The one and only Don Mookie here with Mookie Vision. And Mookie, I want to ask you right away, right? Like, Brandin Cooks is here. He says he still has the speed and stuff. You know who else had speed? Elijah Moore. He wanted out because they couldn't find ways to get him the ball. Do you think Brandin Cooks changes anything here?
No, I think Brandin Cooks comes right in and gets 2 targets a game, just like everybody else been getting. Like, I don't think that you'll bring in, Brandin Cooks and then all of a sudden make him the focal point of your passing game at this point. 11 games in. What are you going to do? You're going to force feed Brandin Cooks the ball when, like you just mentioned, you got a guy in Elijah Moore with 4.3 speed. You can't scheme open. Like, So is not the players, it's the scheme. And I mean, I don't know what else to say at this point. The scheme just ain't scheming. At times Josh Allen don't look like he's a scheme fit in his offense. So I mean, it's not wide receiver friendly. I mean, the writing was on the wall with when you look at Stephon Diggs numbers, it's night and day from Dorsey to Brady. 6 games under Brady, Stephon Diggs had 28 catches, 200 and like roughly 300 yards, one touchdown. But see, thing about Diggs was Diggs set the table that allowed everybody to eat because he demanded the double team. So that's how the everybody eat mantra happens now. But you keep missing the key ingredient. You still need a number one receiver that demands a double team to allow everybody to eat. The Bills have figured that out and since Stephon Diggs has been gone, you're force feeding the ball to your slot, who is not as explosive as a true number one wide receiver. And that's where you see the Bills stumble at, when it's time for the receivers to have their say because they're not schemed up like the tight end or the slot is.
And on the receiver room, right? Like it reads as if a team that has a whole bunch of injuries at the receiver position. And yet this is their plan. Like this was plan A, B, C. And I know they're bringing in people to try to figure it out and stuff, but 2 years in a row now, I get it. Josh is great, but 2 years in a row, you've gone into a season with nowhere close to a number one. I don't know. I'm just getting sick of this type of build. I want to ask whichever one of you want to speak on it. Are you guys over them bringing in every single player that has been let go and brought back and let go? Like their defense right now reads as the greatest hits album from the McDermott era. Like Trey White's still out there. Jordan Poyer's still like, are you guys getting sick of this or is this just me?
I mean, I'm not getting sick of it to a degree, but it's like, okay, like go, it's some other dogs and kennels under other places. You got to go and find them, right? And you can't be afraid to bring those type of guys in. And I mean, if you keep bringing all the players back, how about bringing the coach back? Bring Dable back. You see that Philadelphia Eagles is talking to him. If you're going to bring the band back together, you know what I mean? Even the Blues Brothers fell out until they brought the band back, and then they was all right? So I would be trying to bring Dable in because right now it's the offense is the biggest issue on why this team isn't performing the way it needs to be performing. We understand the defensive side and the injuries, but in games past 3-4 games, the defense has made necessary adjustments in the second half. The Bills have not adjusted to what defenses has been doing with them over the past 4 weeks, and it's showing right now, and it's exposing your offensive coordinator. Made no mistake about it when the season first started, right? This was a Super Bowl contender team. Not to say that the Bills are all in to win the Super Bowl, because we all know that's a difference, right? You never hear national analysts or whatever say, hey, man, the Bills are all in for a Super Bowl. They make the splash, but they don't make the next splash to say the Bills are all in for a Super Bowl. And, Elijah Moore was part of that Super Bowl contending roster. So you get rid of him, why? Because you can't get him the ball. Like he was in Cleveland last year. He had 66 catches in Cleveland, with no quarterback. So he comes here with the MVP. He can't get no. It's not him. It's not the players. It's the scheme. And he's not evolving as a play caller. And your seasoned veteran quarterback needs a veteran guy, a veteran mind, there with him to help him with times of where, you can't find an answer. It seems like Brady at times doesn't have an answer to what teams do to them. And is the most thing that sticks out the most with this team right now.
Yeah, there's no evolution in the player is what I'm seeing. You're not helping the receivers grow. We're not seeing nobody really grow in the offense, and that means it's gonna be a cycle until you find another fired up attitude, or we'll draft the guy high and then we'll be riding on that wave, and that'll have our quarterback throwing the ball to him a lot, which will show his skills, and then it's gonna get to a point where it's like we don't know what's gonna happen. Either the team gonna be good from that or they won't be, and considering what we've been showing, with Coach Brady so far, is he's not going to scheme up or tell guys to attack, throw it to this guy, throw it to number so-and-so. You know, it's going to be on Josh to do that on his own, you know, and when Josh does that on his own, you see guys can make plays. I mean, look at it with Mac Hollins. We brought Mac Hollins in, and I knew Mac Hollins was going to be good because he was a vet. I seen him celebrating in Philly, and I was like, oh, good. He already comfortable. He got attitude. He run hard. And then he came in, and his energy was kind of like a offensive side of Mike Hoyt. You know, I'm going to go get it. I'm going to play defense. I mean, I'm going to block for the run, but I'm not only going to just block and be in position. I'm going to go do what I need to do to try to, you know, make my presence felt. When he cleared routes, he was running them with intent. You know, that's what he can do as a third option. And his energy was so magnetic and strong. Josh was like, I'm about to hit him because, you know, he got it in the media. He go hard on the field. So Josh was able to throw it to that third option comfortably on the slants or posts over the middle, whatever, underneath. He started getting more involved. Now you don't see nobody that's really standing out like that that's going extra hard, except for like, you know, Khalil, I would say, but it kind of negates the fact because Khalil's been there for years. So yeah, Josh should automatically be going to him. He shouldn't have to say anything. But who else is going to have that presence? And you can give it to Keon, but you can only expect so much from a younger player that's only getting minimal targets and not being fed how he should be, you know? Right. And then it's confusing to him because he's then leading the team in stat categories, which is kind of low, but he's still getting, you know what I mean, bashed. Right. And then sat on the bench for being late. Like, forget sitting them on the bench now and being late. It's time to start giving them hella targets now. You know, let them just get
Stevie, that's not the team's makeup. You know,
it's not makeup though. So yeah, they recycle.
Everybody's not eating. Okay, the people that's getting full plate on the team right now is Khalil, Shakur, and Kincaid. They're getting full plates. Everybody else is getting tablespoons. You know what I mean? So they getting 8 to 10, while everybody else is getting 1 to 2. You know, it's easy for teams to scheme for that, and then you don't mix it up. You know, and this is what you get. You get conservative. You get predictable. Listen. We all talk about coaches saying, okay, I put this player out here because he gave the best chance. He gave us the best chance to win the game. How is James Cook not on the field on 4th down? So that's saying James Cook don't give you the best chance to win?
I want to ask on that,
makes sense, bro.
Because we've talked about this a lot, and Bills fans feed James Cook. But then last week, James Cook was calling for he was like, I need and they were like, no, 4th down, you're and we're handing you the ball 3 yards in the backfield. Like, you have Josh Allen there. To me, and I was gonna ask you guys what you would change X's and O's wise, but before we get into that, like, I'm really starting to worry about Joe Brady in game. It feels like he comes in with a plan and he doesn't adjust doesn't. In that moment, you should be like, I want to give Cook the ball, but he's asking for a break. I'm going to use my 6'7" quarterback or something like that.
Right. That's what I wanted to say. When like going to Khalil isn't bad, you know, because he can move the ball down the field. It was unfortunate that it was a turnover in that game because the offense was moving and he was getting it there. But now it's like Mook said, it's about mixing it up though. You know, Brady's the type to go to Khalil and understand, oh, it's working. Let me just continue to go there all game and not even have a plan like, okay, they're going to adjust. So now we're going to hit over the middle. You know what I mean? And it showed with the James Cook situation where now, okay, it's time to sit him out, let him sit out, do something else. No, you bring him back in because that's the only option and you're going to please the fan base for like, bro, now you making yourself look silly on this, you know? And yeah, that's where it comes down to mixing it up, you know, and they need to have that fixed.
And to answer your question before about Josh, where, you know, in early in the season, it was about Josh not trusting the play calling. Like I think really? Josh not trusting the play calling. I've been saying that for the past couple of weeks. It's him not looking at Miami game. He had players underneath that he could have hit, but he didn't. He did it again against Houston. You know, for some strange reason, he's not trusting the play calls. And now it leads to, what are we doing? He's visibly frustrated on the sidelines, and he's unsure of himself because what are we doing? Like, how do you give James Cook the ball right there? You gave it to him 4 straight times. You could have used him as a decoy and just dumped it to Reggie Gillum because they never seen that play. Use the fullback that way. Nothing's really set up. Josh Allen could have just tapped the center on the butt and just went for it because nobody was over the center.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's not sure of himself. Like he could have called any type of play, could have called a timeout, whatever. That's what he said after the game. I should have called a timeout. The play came in late. And then Brady says that,
we knew it was going to come in late.
We knew it was going to come in late because
exactly.
we wanted to confuse them. Didn't seem like you confused them at all. It seems like you the one that was confused. So I'm still confused on that answer right there.
And Bucketz, I want to get your take on this. It was fourth and 18. Oh no, or third and 8. I forget. It was 18 yards though, and the Bills needed to get it. And the Texans played man. Like, to me, that is the biggest indicator that they're like, we don't think anyone out wide could. They had 2 spies at times. Like, from your perspective, I know Josh isn't playing his best, but like, I also think a lot of it is just that teams don't respect what they have on the perimeter right now.
Absolutely. There is no respect to that offense at all. Because there's no consistency. There is zero consistency. You can scheme up. Brady is awesome at the first drive of the game. We get the ball, like we're marching down the field unless something tragic happens. The energy's high, the guys are high, and then that roller coaster is one dip and one dip only, and then you're at a plodding speed the rest of the game. The other thing that, like you were just mentioning, players are even looking at the checkdowns. They're just like, okay, yep. They're just going through the motions, and it's like, yep, here we go. And they're handing it off, like you said, 4 times. But the other thing, like we mentioned earlier, Elijah Moore was calling for the ball. How do you go from Shavers having the game of his life early to not getting any yards at all the next game? In Texans, none.
And
you give him all
on top of that, they dialed back his special team usage.
100%. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. There is zero consistency. And here's the thing. Vanilla ice cream must be Joe Brady's favorite flavor because, my God, that is the most vanilla offense that you can call. When you look at Twitter, sometimes I don't even have to watch the game live, and I'm looking and I'm like, yep, that makes sense. And everyone's when you have fans in, Arizona saying, here comes a 3rd down run right up the middle, and here comes a screen pass to Shakir, and it's right there, and the defense steps up, and there is no change. And everyone's like, that's a negative 3-yard loss. And here we go. We're punting on 4th down.
So, yeah. And on top of that, I've never designed an offense, especially at the NFL level. But Muki, I know you're a coach. Stevie, you've obviously played at every level you could play at. When you guys are watching, is there stuff that you're seeing that you're like, I would do this, I would have this player do that? Or is it just all broken right now?
Yeah, for me, it's just your communication with the quarterback. It's a lot of money out there. It's a lot of holes out there. You can run the same offense that's being called, but if you don't have a guy out there that understands the playbook, that understands watching film, and understands how to say, hey, Josh, look, when we call this spoon right here, if nobody's standing here, I'm gonna give you my eyes, and you can just get it to me. And now that you just moving on. Because you
had that with Fitz, right?
Yeah. I mean, anybody, just look at the game. You will see the receivers running downfield, nobody by them. You see defenders going into their zone. And as a receiver, I can see in my peripheral that, okay, this guy's paying attention to his zone, going to his spot. Man, I'm about to, turn around and get it right over his shoulder. And those are things, that's the game within a game that you don't see when you don't have a alpha receiver that's commanding the ball. That's the good part of having a guy command the ball, because you can even save your plays. You don't even have to give up that entire play if you got a guy, how Mahomes and Kelsey is doing, how they usually do, get the ball out before they even get into a route. Now you saving the play, but you still moving the ball up the field, and you bringing that defense closer to you. You know, so yeah, I mean, before we get out of here, I want to give a shout out to the sponsors though, because it's been some time since we had a sweet victory, but I want everybody else to tap into www.cigarmafia.com, and you know, you can pick up anything. Surprisingly, there's more than cigars there, and make sure you guys use the discount code Stevie13 on checkout this holiday season.
Head over to there right now. I know we only got a few minutes left. Muki, though, why don't they ever hurry up? Why don't they let Josh take command of this? It feels like, to me, I want to see Josh in command. Like, give him one drive a game or something where they're hurrying up and they're just he's able to call the plays based on what he is seeing out there. It feels like for an elite quarterback, they don't let him do that ever.
Yeah, and that goes back to, you know, not having trust in the plays that's being called. If you don't have trust in those play calls, then that means you're not even comfortable to even audible out of it. So, you know, let's just start there. You know, you figure
that's baffling to me though, because you guys know the entire offense. You know, as the QB, you definitely know the entire offense. So when you watching during the week, there's situations every third and minimum, or third and short, or third and medium, third and long, we expecting a percentage of this coverage in this situation. So you always have those beaters, offensive beaters, to go against that. So I mean, Josh should be equipped with that.
But you got the wrong personnel grouping. So if you got the wrong personnel out there, then this is.
But I don't know, because
football, you ain't got your situational players out there with your best situational play. The Bills' best situational play was 4th and 27, but you ain't got to play for 3rd and 1.
How do you convert that and you can't pick up 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2? Like with Josh Allen, like what are we doing?
Yeah, that's where I was saying it's not all the way on Brady. It's got to be Josh too to see that.
Yeah.
Like it's 4th and 2 or 4th and 1, whatever it is, earlier in the game. You say the personnel's not on the field, but Reggie was in there. They called the counter play. Outside of that counter play, you got the guys you need. Go to the tush push play.
Who's going to call timeout then? Who's going to call timeout then?
No, because we had Reggie in there. He was in there already. So it's like, God, offensive line. We need 1 yard. Okay, they called a counter play, but look, we go run with the touch. Reggie, I'm going to motion you, and then you come and push me. I'm going to take it right here up the A-gap. And boom, that's easy as opposed to getting into the offense and then say, oh, it's a counter play. A counter play, bro, like nobody running a counter play on 4th and 1 against the defense like this.
Look, nobody was over the center, and the center was uncovered.
And nobody was open over the center, so that's why I say that's where the evolution of J.A. to turn into Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and see that. Whether you don't want to run it or not, do the hike and then quick give it to Gilliam and let him run up the middle of the old school fullback play. But whatever.
He needs to become J.A.-hole, as you've been saying all year. Like
right. Hey guys, I got to jump over the spectrum and holla at my guys on the Buffalo end zone, man. It's been great bantering.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Oh,
happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Bills Mafia fan base. Go Bills, better get their shiggity together this week in Pittsburgh.
Before we all say goodbye, though, I do want to end on a more positive note. So, Muki and Drew, Stevie, we always love having you with us. I do want to just paint this one picture, right? The Bills, I would say, have had a lot of bad luck turnover-wise, right? Like Shakir fumbling, Coleman fumbling against the Patriots, a lot of stuff that is uncharacteristic. If they clean that up, I think they could go into New England or Denver or Indianapolis and win. And that is who they're going to have to play in the first round of the playoffs. And I think they could beat any of those. They'll get them in round 2. If it was the Chiefs or a fully healthy Ravens squad, maybe I'm talking a little different here. But I do think because of the quarterbacks on those teams that the Bills still have a good chance of winning because they have the best quarterback in any of those matchups.
Oh, for sure. When you get in the playoffs, then it's a whole new season. So that's just the thing right now. That's just the fight right now. Bills, as of today, they're 7 seeds, so they fighting for their playoff lives. Mm-hmm. Nobody care about the division. The Bills won 5 straight divisions, never made it to a Super Bowl. So who cares about the division? just get into the dance and hit your stride at the right time, and good things can happen. So they just got to keep stacking dubs on a week to week.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to end on a positive note.
Let's get. Hey, that's why
we've been negative for a lot, but
we had to.
They've done it before, but it's just a lot of parity in the AFC, and everybody's kind of like in the same boat. So the Bills just need to hit their stride at the right time, and usually, if not, it's always been late in the season. But we'll see. What type of resilient team they are.
Buckets, bring this positivity to the streets, because Bills fans are down right now, but we need them fired up for this stretch run.
Hey, I'm on it. I will work my thumbs. I know Stevie's taking the week off. He's on IR, so
yeah,
I will take over the
Stevie.
reins, and I will put out that positive vibes coming up for this Sunday's game, 4:25.
Yes.
And look, I'm not thankful for the way the season has gone so far, but I'm thankful for the Bills, and I'm thankful that I get to talk about my favorite team with all three of you each and every week. It is an honor, is a privilege, and I look forward to it each week. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you, to your families, to the viewers and their families, and I guess go Bills, right?
Happy Thanksgiving to y'all. Go Bills.
Good to see y'all.
We'll see everyone next.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Bills Banter on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.